Anjali, and this is my team. This is Ranveer, Simon, Seth, Ishan, and Mitsuki. We are arguing for the affirmative side. So, the age of exploration, 1492 till 1673, was a time of great expedition and discovery. It is a time when the Europeans and natives met and created peace between two nations. In the end, I believe the positive effects of contact between the natives and Europeans outweighed the negative effects. We have many facts to support this and would like to start by saying that the Europeans brought many livestock such as horses. They also brought many plants like sunflowers, Kentucky bluegrass, and scurvy plants. So listen carefully and surely at the end you will agree with us.
Hi, I'm Josh and he's my team, San Juan, Nana, Ariel, and Rushi. We are gathered here today because we are explaining our reasons why we stand in the negative corner for the resolution of the negative effects of the positive effects of the Europeans coming to the new land outweigh the negative effects. The friendship between them had lots of cruelty, violence, disrespect to the natives, their belonging, and the land. Like Vinanjali said, they brought many plants, but that meant that they didn't let the natives grow their own plants, which didn't give the natives a chance to eat their own food and made them have to adapt to new food to eating, which they weren't so comfortable with. And also when you said about age and exploration, it was also a time where greed took over to take over land. It was a time for greed, and that's why that was more of the age of exploration, of greed taking over, where the monarchies of high-profile countries went and took over land. I'm sure when you hear our arguments, you'll be persuaded. Hopefully I keep it open.
Firstly, the horse was an important animal that the Europeans introduced to the natives. As a result of this new import of transportation, the natives no longer had to hunt for buffaloes. Also, it made the traveling speed faster and easier. The first explorer to introduce the horse to the American Indians was Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, a Spanish conquistador. When he introduced the livestock to the natives, it made a dramatic change to the natives' life.
For my first argument, in 1513, Ponce de Leon reached a land he called Florida. He tried to set up a Spanish settlement. The natives immediately drove him out. While the natives were driving him out, the natives killed him. Hernando Cortez in 1519, he took over the Mexican Aztecs, and he also killed everybody that didn't obey his orders. He also took the natives' leader, Montezuma. Samuel de Champlain was another explorer who first started the beaver fur trade. Even though you think that beaver fur trade is a positive effect, it also was a negative effect. When he found out about the beaver fur, if he wanted to start the beaver fur trade, wouldn't he have to kill a lot of beavers just to get their fur? And wouldn't they have to hire people to make the clothes out of the beaver fur? And that is the end of my.
That That may be true, but Europeans also introduced many new herbs and plants, like fruits and vegetables. The, the food that was introduced by the Europeans were squash, potatoes, corns, peppers, bananas, and also the Europeans also introduced desserts like chocolate. The plants that were introduced by the natives to repay the Europeans were sunflowers and cornflowers. Also, the natives also introduced the scurvy plant, weeds, grasses, wheat, rice, sugar, and wine grapes. Wouldn't you feel good if people brought you yours to heal yourselves or food to eat?
When the Europeans came here, they brought a lot of diseases, and it spread it out in the natives' colonies. They didn't have natural defenses for diseases like smallpox, typhus, measles, and diphtheria, and deadly scurvy. The diseases wiped out the whole 50 to 90% of natives' population. And they were also forced to be slaves. Nearly 10 million were forced to go and were sent by Europeans to help do backbreaking labor on the plantations. Wouldn't it be a little bit cruel if they took you like a thing that they were using? They thought it was okay to just bring a human and own by themselves and buy and sell them. Won't that be cruel? And think about if you were that person.
Another one of our arguments is that some explorers had positive effects too between the natives. Duguay Marquette and Louis Joliet were one of them. They helped the natives of Quebec fight against the Iroquois who were fighting against the Quebec. Sir Humphrey Gilbert made colonies and treaties for Canada, and Samuel de Champlain governed Quebec and traded with the natives. All these explorers had good contact. This really helped the natives because with the help of the Europeans' new technology, they will have more chances of winning. Wouldn't that make you feel confident and more happy because people with more weapons and armor would be helping you?
Believe me, there are more bad effects on the Europeans and the natives than there are positive. Don't you think it's hard for the natives to work under a scorching sun above them and not getting paid and having Europeans follow them in their own land? They didn't just kill them, they destroyed them. Believe me.
That may be all true. Cruelty, greed, and conquering land. Beaver for getting things like that are bad effects, but there are many more good effects brought by the French and the British, which were like they got new canoes which were made of stronger woods to the natives, so they didn't have to go around the rivers which are turbulent and travel faster over waters. They even gave the French and the British even gave the natives some guns and taught them how to use them. If the natives had not been given the guns by the French and the British, then the other Europeans would have conquered them easily.
when the Europeans had contact with the natives, they found a plant that they really liked. It was sweet and they called it sugarcane. The natives also liked this plant. So when the Europeans found that out, they used the natives as slaves if they wanted to have some of that. And I'm telling you, there are more negative effects than positive when they had contact with the natives.
We just see wherever European civilizations came to dominate the Americas with consequences, we now realize that involving nothing less than issues of life and death, humankind have been able to sustain a population never been dreamed of. Our state of health is better food plus attendant improvements in science and technology, which have furthered additional advances in science, technology, and arts. Truly, if not Columbus, someone else would have done it. Biggest blotch of Columbus and explorers, portrayal of the human beings. Until Columbus found his way across the Atlantic, two sets of continents on each side were marked differently. Their products through the time has changed. There are exotic spices from the lands of the other side of the water that Columbus crossed in 1492. The great Columbus navigated, administrated, crusaded, enslaved, but above all, he mixed, mingled, jumbled culture, product, and knowledge. From research, it says some of the high school students have found that the French and British introduced powerful technology to the natives.
That may be true, but that was only the technology was only made better by people after the revolution when everything was forgotten. So that was an entirely different matter. So remember, even though there are a lot of positive benefits, the negative ones were still deadly. Many European lives were lost in the sea. They died in fights and got wiped out by diseases. I don't want to lose my life finding treasure in faraway lands, and trust me, neither do you.